Well, imagine your phone rings and it looks like your husband is calling, but on the line is a woman who says she has his phone. She claims to be a Canadian Border Services agent and says he's being detained and that you have to pay money so he can be released. Well, that's what happened to one Ontario woman who says a caller pressured her into depositing $10,000 into a Bitcoin machine, turning that cash into virtual money.
They're calling me from his phone, and that was where I fell for it. Obviously, I'm totally shattered at that point because they said they're interrogating him at this point, and I said, I need to talk to him. I said that a couple of times, and they said, well, he cannot talk to anybody right now. It's a very, very serious matter. It's like a possible criminal activity. When it comes to your family, you want to be able to do anything and everything. I am giving money willingly to save my family member or wherever the situation, it would just like any other person would do for their family.
It's a new twist on the Canada Revenue scam. Police in Hamilton, Ontario say the woman, whose identity we've agreed to protect, is one of several fraud cases involving Bitcoin machines they're currently investigating. While some may not understand how anyone could be so gullible, one psychologist tells us scammers prey on victims' emotions and count on our fight or flight response to keep us from making rational decisions.
It's kind of like the body is saying, this is no time for thinking. This is time to either fight straight on or run away, fight or flee. One way to think of it is this short-term survival system makes us stupid. It takes away that high-level intellectual, that's what we use to figure out what courses to take at university, to get a job, to whatever. That's what the frontal lobes and all that intellectual stuff is for. And it's just been taken out of the equation. And so, it's almost like we need to use the word stupid without the derogatory sense of it. It does make you intellectually impaired.
Now, coming up, we'll get some more tips from Dr. Jordans about how to make better decisions when you're in that fight or flight mode and protect yourself from potentially being scammed.
The phone call came from my husband's phone. It was showing that my husband was calling. His picture and everything was showing on the phone.
I'm Janelle Massa. Earlier in the show, we told you about a new type of scam where the fraudster makes it look like they're calling from your loved one's phone. They're in trouble and you need to send money so they can get out. Well, we also heard from a psychologist about why it's not so easy to think rationally in these situations where our mind goes into a fight or flight mode. That's why he says one of the best things you can do is remove yourself from the situation.
If your frontal lobes are sort of depleted, I assume she felt very confused, very hard to follow what's going on. And it wouldn't surprise me if the scammers know these things too, and they probably change the subject now and then or bring in new information or do whatever they can to keep her in that confused state. When that emotional system kicks in, sometimes your only choice is to get away from that situation. So I assume they tried to prevent her from doing that too. But, if she was able, the nice thing would be to say, listen, give me a call back in 10 minutes or something, or I need to check some stuff out or whatever. And I think that might be a cue for other people, that if someone's just not willing to give you a second to kind of clear your head and think about it, then they probably don't want you to clear your head. And that alone should maybe be a trigger that says you have to insist on it, because I don't think any real governmental agency is going to put you under that much pressure and not be willing to call back.
Now, one other thing that Dr. Jordans notes is that in this particular situation, this victim may have had an unfair disadvantage. She shared with us that she had had a similar situation before where her husband was in danger. So when she got that call, it triggered those same emotions that she had once felt. And that's why she was willing to do anything she could to get him safe. Janelle Massa, City News.